I am Joseph Godla, Chief Conservator at the Frick Collection. I would like to introduce you to the current exhibition, Precision and Splendor, Clocks and Watches at the Frick Collection, curated by Charlotte Vignon, Associate Curator of Decorative Arts. The exhibition will be on view until February 2nd, 2014. This pocket watch, also called a pendant watch, was made in Switzerland around 1685. Small in scale and lightweight, the watch was suspended on a chain, now lost, that was attached on one end to a waistcoat or a belt loop, and on the other end to this pendant ring, beautifully ornamented with acanthus leaves and a rosette. Such watches were worn by men and women until wristwatches grew in popularity after World War I. At just over 2 inches in diameter, this watch exemplifies the high level of skill required to produce detailed scenes on a minuscule scale on every surface. The dial is a beautiful example of 17th century Swiss watchmaking. The chapter ring is divided into 12 black Roman numerals with half-hour divisions set against a white enamel background. A colorful scene in the center, inspired by classical mythology, depicts a man wearing an orange tunic. He holds a staff in his right hand. A gray dog stands behind him. A woman, seen from behind, places her hand on his shoulder. Lightly covered with a blue and white garment, she might be Venus, the Roman goddess of love and beauty, prosperity and victory. A white dove, symbol of love and peace, rests next to her. The reverse of the watch reveals another mythological scene, easily identified as the Toilette of Venus, after a painting made around 1640 by the French artist Simon Vouet. It is unlikely that the enameler who decorated the watch ever saw the canvas, now at the Carnegie Museum of Art in Pittsburgh. But we can be certain that he copied the engraving made in 1651 by Vouet's son-in-law, Michel d'Origny. This explains why the scene on the watch is, like the engraving, a reverse image of the original painting. By copying a black and white image, the enameler was free to choose the colors for the scene he was painting, a vivid palette of magenta, blue, violet, and green. To fit such a complex composition on a small, round surface, he disregarded several elements appearing in the painting and the engraving. Most notably, a large vase and white doves on the foreground and the heavy drapery and landscape in the background are missing. Inside the cover of the watch is a bucolic scene that recalls the work of 17th century French painters Claude Lorrain and Henri Maupertuis. In a verdant landscape with lush trees, 2 men and 2 women are resting near a lake or a river. One woman seated on the ground is holding a child while a man is talking to her. Another man holds a spear as if on guard. In the background, a village sheltered by mountains completes this scene, steeped in early morning or late afternoon light. Around the watch case is a series of idyllic landscapes divided into 4 medallions. Each scene depicts buildings in pastoral settings, possibly illustrating areas around Lake Geneva. At the center of the band, below the clasp for the glass cover, the enameler signed his piece, P. Huaud, L'année Pixet. Pierre Huaud, the eldest, painted this. His father, also named Pierre Huaud, was a Protestant who had fled France and established himself in Switzerland in the early 17th century. In Geneva, he created miniature paintings on watch cases with opaque colored enamels over a white enamel ground. With the help of his 3 sons, Pierre II, Jean-Pierre, and Ami, the Huaud family created its own style that was celebrated throughout Europe. The perfection of their bright and saturated enamels resemble miniature paintings on paper, parchment, or ivory. Their watch cases were fitted to English, French, and Swiss watch movements as is the case for this watch, whose movement was made by Geneva-based clockmaker Henri Arlot, whose signature is engraved on the back plate. As was typical of the period, the movement of this watch is highly decorative. Circular plates of gilt brass are connected by 4 finely twisted pillars and surmounted with foliate filigree in gold and blue steel. 2 conjoined birds playfully protect the mechanism that features an 11-turn fusee, a cone-shaped spindle that equalizes the diminishing force of a coiled spring as it unwinds, and a verge escapement. This device controls the rate of the watch by advancing the gear train at regular intervals, or ticks. For more accuracy, Arlot added a balance spring invented only 10 years earlier, around 1675. Attached to the balance wheel, it controls the speed at which the wheels of the watch turn and thus the rate of movement of the hands. Although this watch included all of the latest horological inventions, it was still far from accurate and ran only 32 hours before it needed to be rewound. We welcome you to visit the exhibition Precision and Splendor, Clocks and Watches at the Frick Collection in the Portico Gallery through February 2nd, 2014. Major funding for the exhibition is provided by Breguet. Additional support is generously provided by the Sells Foundation, Peter and Gail Goltra, and the David Berg Foundation. For more information, please visit our website, frick.org.